Well, we are on the Gibson bus with Mario Van Peebles, and tell us a little bit about your film.
Well, the film is called Black, White, and Blues,
Mm-hmm.
and we shot it in Nashville. And Nashville, of course, is known for its music. And at the roots of a lot of this music is, well, I have my philosophy. Let me do diverse for,
Okay.
Get off track for a minute. And that is that I think if you take a pot and you sort of put in Italians and Jews and black folks and Chinese folks and Irish folks, and you stir it up, you get sparks, right? And that's America, that melting pot. But out of those sparks comes great art, great music. And so you look at that sort of pot and you say, wow, what comes out of that pot? You get gospel and country and hip hop and rock and roll and all this great music. And so I think whenever you get a country like ours, which is culturally so diverse and we're so mixed up and crazy, you get the good and you get the bad. And the art, the music we make is one of the good. And so Bailey is sort of a story about these two guys on a sort of a healing journey, in a way an unintentional spiritual journey across the heartland and set against the backdrop of blues and gospel and country. So it's appropriate that we're sitting here in the Gibson bus.
Absolutely. Well, what was your favorite part about filming here in Nashville?
Well, I think, first of all, they're really film friendly. They really were ready to, you had folks coming out there cooking for us and welcoming us. But I think the diversity, you saw it. I love, my family's mixed with everything. We got white folks and black folks and green folks. Got a couple green folks in my family.
You too?
So, yeah, you too, right?
I do.
Yeah, I could tell.
I do.
So I think that the cultural diversity was great. And then also just in terms of the geography, the topography, that I could shoot part of it for the flatlands of Texas, or the hills of, some of the hills in the South, and really get a different look, which was great. And it was lush and of course the music. I mean, big part of it was being here for was being here for the music. So.
Well, I hear you did a lot of your post-production here at Paradigm.
Correct. Yeah, we worked with Fred over there. He really worked. He's still working. He still came to me the other night. He's like, I got a couple little notes I'm gonna make for you, but he really worked hard on it to get it right. So yeah, it was really cool to work here. And the fact, to shoot a film here in Nashville and then come back and premiere it here. It was real nice, sort of like a homecoming thing,
Well, I know Nashville was happy to have you here, and I've got to ask you, as a fan of Lost, I know you recently directed one of the season finale episodes.
Right.
Now, so that was you did one episode with that. What was the most exciting part about that for you?
Well, I was over in Russia directing a film, and what I try to do is, in between directing features, is direct smart TV. So a lot of things that we're able to get on TV now, you used to have to do a documentary to do it, or an independent film. And if there's shows like I'll direct sometimes. I did Sons of Anarchy, I did Damages, do some Law and Order, and was happy to do Lost. So I became a fan of Lost when I was in Russia. I was just watching these DVDs of it. And it's just one of those shows that I think that any art that compels you to think is a good thing. The more that you can get lulled into not thinking, the easier it is to manipulate you. So one of the things, if you study a little bit, like if you study Germany, well, what Hitler did was, the first thing we did was cut off the tongues of the artists. That if you could sort of reduce art down to sort of just very sort of happy art or sort of very simple art, you could say, well, if people think when they look at that piece of art, if they question when they look at that piece of art, are they going to question when they get to vote, when they go into that box and they pull that lever? And so there's direct coordinations between, you can see kind of art that people pay attention to and listen to, and how they vote and how sharp they are. So I like art that makes you think, and I think that's really important. In a democracy, we need to be thinking and saying, wait a minute, is there really a connection between Al-Qaeda and Iraq? And if there's not, even though we might see that on some of the fake news, you have to distinguish and go, oh no, so invading Iraq would be like getting bombed in Pearl Harbor and invading Mexico. So if you can't get duped that way, you're less likely to fall for the okie doke and really sort of question more. And I think that makes America a better place, because we've got a lot of things to work on, but this is a great place to be. So my long story short is any art that makes you think is a good thing. And I think Bailey, Black, White, and Blues does that, and I think Lost does that. I think Damages does that. I think.
I still have to really think through Lost. I mean, there's still times I'll be like, hold on a second, we need to, rewind and kind of look back. And it's like every time we've rewatched a few of the episodes, and you pick up on different little nuances that you didn't pick up the first time. It's just there's so many little, almost like Easter eggs hidden throughout it.
Right. In fact, the episode that I did, Michael Emerson, who plays Ben, who was always sort of this very sort of manipulative. Machiavellian character, shows a whole different side of his personality in a sort of parallel life, and I could talk about it now freely and they won't kill me, so that's good. But
and that's when he was the teacher.
Yeah, he was a teacher. So to do that episode and really show something very different, that what in this lifetime, what choices would we make that would be different? It's like that sort of Robert Frost, the Yellow Wood poem, where he talks about the two diverging paths, and if I take this path, this branch, and make these decisions, my life follows that way. And if I go this way, what happens if I take these two different paths? And so it's interesting to explore that.
So do you know how the series ends?
You know what? I don't. And it's funny because I didn't even watch the episode I directed, because I want to watch it all together for me. So I'm one of those guys, I want to get the whole last season and watch them all together, and then just to see how what my little part in the mix is.
I wish I had done the same thing, because I'm caught up through last week, and now I'm going every time it ends and it's like Lost. I'm like, no, there's got to be more. No.
I know they're really good.
It's so frustrating.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, they're really good with that, and boy, the actors on that are really fantastic.
They are.
In fact, back to Black, White, and Blues, Keely Sanchez, who's the female lead in Black, White, and Blues, was on Lost, and I saw her first on Lost, and I liked her on Lost, and I said, man, she can get lost over in our set anytime.
It's funny how that works out, huh?
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good to be here.
Well, great. Well, we hope to see you around Nashville quite a bit.
Cool.
Thank you.
On your bus.
No problem. My bus, I like that.
Yeah.
It's my bus.